PodAskew Podcast is a founding member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Two things I know in this world: black and white convenience store movies and podcasting, man. So when I give you a podcast suggestion, people tend to listen. I'm about to drop some on you right now. Check out a great variety of podcasts on the Odd Pods Media Network, man. I'm talking shows Super Media Brothers, Married with Television, The 500 Section Lounge, From the Middle Podcast, PodAskew, BFYTW, and Infectious Groove, all proud members of the Odd Pods Media Network. They make me so happy, spittle flies out of my mouth when I talk about them, man. I love anybody that creates a podcast network, and the good folks at Odd Pods have done exactly that. Go listen to all the podcasts on Odd Pods Media Network right now and tell them Silent Bob sent you. And when they say, wait, I thought he doesn't talk. And you're like, yeah, well, he talks one line per movie. And then go like, what? And the one line in a movie told you to go listen to Odd Pods Media Network? And then be like, look, it was just a fucking sign-off catchphrase. Get off my dick. And then you'll have made a new friend.
It's Fandom Friday.
With PodAskew, I am CJ, and with me, as always, is my head royal life mate, Rico. What's up, man? It helps if your mic is down.
What's up, motherfuckers?
There you go. Holy crap! Look at you rocking in new specs. What?
Yeah, new glasses. So
yeah.
For comparison, here are the older, smaller ones. Bear with me.
I kind of like the smaller ones. I got to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's that.
Yeah. I think it's just I'm so used to it. I've been staring at them for 3 years, so that's all. It just takes
they're definitely bigger.
Yeah. Well,
and also I got some prescription sunglasses as well.
Finally got them replaced, huh?
Yeah, those thieving cocksuckers.
Oh, look at you. So you should just rock those the whole time.
I think I actually see better in these ones than I do in the other ones.
Ironically, we can see your screen now.
It's super weird because I've had these old prescription for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So putting these on, it's actually harder to see with these on because my eyes have not adjusted. Yeah. So it's kind of like watching VHS your whole life and then going right to Blu-ray. You're just like, holy fuck! I'm not ready for this.
So, you want to tell me why I got this big ass box in my way?
Okay, so it's your birthday. So I ordered a fucking present for you. So now officially, because we're doing a romance episode, I want to show you how romantic I am to you.
Aw, thank you for the romance. Yeah, this has been sitting in my living room since Tuesday. So
good.
I didn't put it on my desk the whole time because that would have been a pain in the ass. Well, he is my hetero life mate, Celeste, so it does work. All right, let's see what this bad boy is all about. Deb's here. Yeah, I just want to see the facial expression in yours. I'm gonna turn up the sound so she can hear you guys.
All right.
There you go. Yeah. All right. I don't know if I'll need that, so let's put that right there for right now.
There should also be a card with it as well.
All right. Well, let me get
not like a separate card, just one of those little Amazon notes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just trying not to knock over all my crap too. It's
Oh,
even wrapped. I could have at least taken it out of the box.
Well, fuck you. I want to make you work for it.
Look at that. That's cool.
Wait, I got to get the card out of there, Deb. There's a card. Ugh. Woo! That shit is heavy. All right, let's see what the little... They put it in his... Look, Rico, you're going to love this. That's the envelope, right? That's the size of the thing they had in it.
What a waste of fucking paper, but if it's that heavy, it might as well be that heavy.
Because it actually just said what it was. But may this set help you through more years of hearing me yell at you that you're wrong about certain movies and a series of bad impressions. Yeah, that's very true. All right, let's see. You just knocked over.
Well, I can pick up what his name is.
Yep. The better Constantine, actually.
I just think it wasn't his when the movie was made.
Yeah.
I don't mind the movie.
I gotta put it down here, Rico, because it's hard to open.
I have it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
It's in another taped box. I can't get the bag.
Here, hold it. I know what's wrong.
Okay, well, I don't know here. Yeah, you know what?
That's so fucking funny. All right, guys, don't tell him. It's just a box within a box within a box within a box.
Yeah, my mom did that to my dad years ago.
Love that bag. Keep that bag.
It's not that.
No, I realize that, Rico, but it's just.
Here, why don't you do this?
I'm trying, man.
I'm trying to help you.
Okay, well, don't.
I will hold it up, put it upside down so you can kind of come out and you hold it.
Don't break it.
I can't even move it. You know what the sad part is you actually wrap this yourself, you'd make it as complicated. There we go.
There you go. Pick it up and I'll pull it off the end.
This is the extra present, just watching you guys struggle.
All right, here, I got it.
All right, now pull
Okay.
it. Why did this in the beginning?
All right, that's another box. Oh,
beautiful bag.
Jesus. Yeah, we're yes. You can have the bag. It's actually what I do. Wait, can I get the bag back for a second just to show them?
It's just like it's pretty.
Rico, I do like it. I don't know if you plan this, but it is our colors.
No, I did not plan it.
It's our colors though, so that's pretty neat.
Oh.
So.
Celeste says 5 minutes left of the show.
Yeah, it hasn't taken that long. Come on now. All right. Fucker. Okay.
What's in the box?
Yeah, right? That's what I should have called this thing. I'm going to spin it this way so I don't cut my face off. There we go.
I'll just spoil it. You have Gwyneth Paltrow's head in a box. That's your present.
Well,
and it's full of goop.
Yes, it is. Ooh.
My head in a box.
Hold on. Deb, come over here and grab that piece of styrofoam.
Yeah, that would be a great gift, except I'd be going to jail for fucking murder, and then I just admitted to the crime on here. That would actually, I'd probably get away with it because no one else watches our shit.
Right? There you go. Just rip the box.
God, it is amazing how fucking huge these glasses are. I look like I'm slowly evolving into like my dad.
All right, there you go. Oh, the light bulb.
And now it's in another bag.
And Bob.
Oh my God. I did not plan all that. I just wanted,
No, but you're loving every second of it.
Oh, I love
Oh, for sure, dude. It's fucking
the colors.
It's from Italy. It's fragile.
What was that?
I
don't know. I'm just hearing things fall. Oh,
thank you, Jay.
All right. Jesus. I got a workout just opening the damn thing. So
good. You're about to be an older fuck, so it's all good.
All right. This is do you see? I wish it here. Let me try to show you. I'm gonna move the mic real quick.
Yeah, we don't need to hear you.
Look at that box.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's like it's wood. It's like some real nice like oak shit.
That's what I do, man. I give you wood.
Well, let's not get like that crazy about it. Oh wow. That's gorgeous, Rico. Look at this. This is really nice. All right. So
now the card makes a whole lot more sense, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to it's really crammed in here in like a good way, but Jesus.
That's what she said.
What?
Excellent quality.
I can't get.
You want me to help you?
Nothing's.
There's a mess.
Is it?
There we go. You're here.
She just comes over to.
Yeah.
I like to do things more for you.
So it's a whiskey glass,
Yeah.
and then there's
there definitely should be more.
no, there is.
Like all that wrapping in boxes for one fucking whiskey glass, man. I would have fucking shipped it myself.
I don't know how to. I'm afraid I'm gonna break this thing. You see, it's like it's not. Yeah, do I take that off?
You can take that out. You can take them as low as you want it.
That might be what I'm supposed to do.
There you go.
There we go.
See, I'm trying to.
And then there's the decanter. That's really a nice decanter, Rico.
Beautiful.
And then
those sort of things I was trying to get you.
And then you got the.
Yeah, the glass one. You like the glass top.
Yeah, look. So I don't know if you guys can see. There you go.
It's beautiful.
It needs to be cleaned out. It's dusty as fuck.
Are you happy?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. No, thank you.
That's awesome because stuff.
Can you? Yeah, you guys can hear me. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And then it came with some really. Look at these coasters are like rocks. And then there's the cubes. You freeze these. This is really nice, Rico. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. Happy birthday, you fuck.
Yeah. Holy shit, that was a workout.
Well, now you can fucking, wash that and pump iron at the same time and then fill it up and you can relax after that workout.
Dad? Would you do me a favor? Would you wash this and grab me some ice? Well, wait a second, just when you get a moment. When you get a moment, I said. All right, so I'm gonna put this back away for now, so I can clean it properly later.
Until your next workout.
Yeah, right. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's
this is how you're gonna pump iron. 1, 2, 4, 7, Q, WX. Thought about it, Pit.
Did I just? Oh shit! The box is broken.
What?
The box is broken. Yeah.
The wooden box?
It must have broken transit.
Oh, those dirty motherfuckers.
Yeah, the hinge is completely stripped. The hinge, it's completely stripped. No, it's pretty bad, Deb. Look. That's a shame.
What a fucking
in there. And it's
I wish it was Gwen's head now.
The screws already came out.
You did where?
Right here in my hand.
Okay,
Motherfuckers. I'm gonna fucking
I went to close it, see.
I want to write a report on that. Oh, they're about to get a Rico's rant. Oh shit.
Yeah. It's this square here, I see. It's
yeah. Can you help me just move this out of the way?
All the way. I can put some wood glue on it.
Well, whatever. I want to just get it out of the way for right now.
Good.
Thank you. Hey, well, Rico, it's all the decanters and the glass and all the insides are perfect, and that's really the more important part. But
well, yeah, but look, I'm not going to tell you how much all that cost, but
I'm sure it wasn't cheap. Yeah,
it was not cheap. I mean, that's not the issue. It's just motherfuckers.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
How was your delivery? Not so great, Jeff Bezos, you fucking fuck.
The delivery, well, actually, Bezos quit, if you recall.
Yeah, he retired with 800,000 cajillion bajillion fucking dollars. Item was damaged. Yeah, it was.
Thank you. All right, Rico.
You and I are gonna have to go through what the problems are later. We'll fucking do this together.
It's just the whole hinge is completely stripped. The wood's cracked and the hinge is stripped. That's it.
Yeah, but no, but I mean, I'm gonna need you to like take photos of it and send it my way so I can supply shit and be like, listen, the object itself is fine, but the thing that's like it's supposed to be in for like the display and all that is broken.
Yeah.
Of all the fucking wrappings that they did, like they still fucked up.
Well, regardless, buddy. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, Mazel Tov.
I mean, Rico, it's a really nice decanter. I'm actually gonna, once I'm done this bottle of black that I have up here, I'm probably gonna switch to black into that one and put the vanilla in the one that I have. So
I was this close to just getting you a fucking Metallica rocks glass.
that would have been badass. I would have rocked with that. I mean,
but
God.
Deb said, oh, he needs a decanter and all that. I'm like, well, I could spend X amount of dollars on a fucking just one glass, or I can get this whole fucking set for just a little bit more extra.
Yeah.
And, it was sort of my logic.
No, and listen, man, all jokes aside, and, we have a lot of fun, but yeah, really, thank you. It was really a kind present, Rico, and it certainly doesn't live up, or what I was going to get you for your birthday doesn't live up. So now I got to, I got to rethink my logic here.
Lightsabers. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, that fucking just.
I really stupid, Rico, but I really like these coasters. Like these coasters that's a piece of rock with like little rubber mats on the bottom to like. It's really super nice, yeah. But yeah, I like these. These are great. So I'm good. I'm good to go now. Romance me away, buddy.
So, all right. What's your favorite romance movie?
My favorite romantic film. You know what? It's really kind of a good question. No jokes, because I think it depends on my mood. My all-time favorite movie, period, I would say actually falls into a romantic, maybe almost a rom-com, and that's High Fidelity. So, that would be there. Jay's got a good point. Chasing Amy, of course, is a romance film in its own way,
Can I mean, I don't mean to shit on your choice, but like, okay, fine. I would argue that High Fidelity is as much of a romantic comedy as it is an anti-romantic comedy, because everything he fucking does is sort of the wrong way, and he gets his fucking girl back purely not of his own doing. It's not like he improved.
Well, no, I disagree. I agree and I disagree, because I agree that he didn't get her back of his own doing. I agree with you there. With maybe the exception of the apology at the funeral. By the way, if you guys haven't seen High Fidelity, spoilers, but the apology at the funeral was not an attempt to get her back, but it was genuine. And it was probably the most genuine thing he had said to her in a long time. And that might have been what sparked her. But that aside, he was improving from it. I think he was still learning. I mean, you got to figure the whole film takes place over the course of a week? I'm going to say 2 weeks, maybe. Yeah, and like you can have some epiphanies, but it takes time for everything to kind of like kick in. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think if they had made a High Fidelity sequel, which God please don't, but if they had, because I just think a sequel would be bad. But if they had, I think you would have seen a marked improvement in Rob's behavior and demeanor. Do you know what I mean? So I think he was learning. I don't think he was there yet. I'll share with you, and I think we've talked about this before. I actually did what he did. I didn't have like a top 5 worst breakups, but I definitely went back to old girlfriends and was like, okay, what did I do wrong here? Yeah. And
I've done something similar. It's never been like all of them in like a series of like, so tell me how I fucked up. It was more of just kind of like you get dumped and then you kind of think about your other exes and you just kind of reach out to them and be like, hey, how are you? And they're just like, why are you writing to me? And I'm like, that's fair.
No, I flat out asked. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
I did the Rob, like, okay, what'd I do? And I will tell you right now, it went equally as well for me as it did for Rob. So, because none of them went well for him. I'm seeing some pics in the, obviously, Jay said Chasing Amy. I'm seeing Ghost.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. Who said it? Who was I talking to? Rocky? Yeah, I mean, she's not wrong. Celeste's not wrong.
Oh yeah.
Who was I talking to? Kateri, you were saying, I believe it was you, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that Pretty Woman actually is not a great film in that it gives a bad story of, okay, if you want to first off, women need rescuing by rich white guys. That was her first problem with it, which I get.
Well, we all know. No, I'm just.
And then her other problem, and that was it. If you want a rich guy, become a hooker. That was the other, that was the other vibe that was given. So,
I can speak for Steph. Steph does not like anything with Julia Roberts. So, like, if like those would be valid issues, and then Steph would come along and be like, I agree with all that, but also fuck Julia Roberts. I look, is Pretty Woman like entertaining? For sure. But it's entertaining for all the fucking wrong reasons. It's just like she's a hooker with a heart of gold, and it is the ultimate damsel in distress. And the fucked up thing is that she's trying to be her own like independent woman. Like, you'll never hear me say no woman should be a hooker. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do.
Right.
Like, it's the oldest profession.
Right, because there's that whole force thing with
right.
With,
if a woman chooses to be a prostitute, then by all means, then
right.
I mean, madams,
they're different.
Right. That's a whole other thing. I mean, when Liam Neeson is chasing after their ass, it's not a good thing.
Right.
But if it's like, and we don't know the circumstances of like why Vivian became a hooker, but it's the implication that she was doing it because
it felt out of choice. I'll give you that. You know what I mean? But I'm not the biggest Julia Roberts fan either, but I do love her in the Ocean's movie, the first one, 11. I do. She's badass in that role. I'm sorry.
She's good in that, but she's definitely overshadowed by everyone else. But for being the only fucking woman, she's phenomenal. You know, she's able to hold her own against every fucking 11 dudes.
She does better in that one than she does in 12. Just to get that, yeah.
Agreed. She and Danny have one of the best dialogues of my memory, where she says to him, "You are a liar and a thief." And he says, "I only lied about being a thief."
Yeah,
which is one of my favorite lines.
Oh yeah, there's another scene where he's like, "I'm not joking, Tess." She goes, "I'm not laughing, Danny." Like that's a
great one.
Yeah,
I love. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that back and forth is. That's why. That's why I played this town. DJ Santos played this town on the opening, because I went through and was talking to him about the 3 Oceans films over. I watched them all in the last 24 hours. No joke. I love those films. I really do. They're so good.
Okay, so my all-time favorite is When Harry Met Sally, and the reason why, in part, is due to the soundtrack. And you kind of hit the nail on the fucking head. Like, When Harry Met Sally has got one of the best soundtracks, and it's largely for people that me that like my type of music, like swing, big band, old Louis Armstrong, and it's all love ballads and standards. So, but there's 2 separate albums. There's the straight up soundtrack one, and then there's the Harry Connick Jr. version.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, Harry Connick Jr. Throughout the whole movie, there's piano medleys of Harry just fucking around on a piano.
Sure.
And he fucks around with It had to be like he released a whole album just of him covering standards, and that was sort of the height and beginning of him. Like, who's this Harry fucking Connick Jr. guy? He's good.
Yeah, Harry. I'm a fan of his, honestly. Yeah. So, Jay's got a good one there. What's that? Rico?
Oh yeah, Wedding Singer. Yeah, I'm still getting used.
That's another one for me.
I like 50 First Dates more than Wedding Singer.
Well, yeah, I think that goes back to what we talked about on the Hughes film, where the Hughes deep dive is that one. So you blame the Hughes thing on the 80s and not having lived through it. I think that applies more to The Wedding Singer than it does to the Hughes films, personally, for me.
I don't know what you mean.
Like the Wedding Singer derives a lot of its humor and understanding on the 80s. Like, you had to, whereas I don't feel like the Hughes films do that as much as just live in the 80s. Do you know what I mean?
It's all about a guy who's stuck in the 80s who hasn't fucking caught up with the 90s, is how I look at The Wedding. Adam Sandler's character.
No, it takes place in like 1985. It's not the 90s. It takes place in 85.
Okay, well, it's been a fucking long time since I've seen The Wedding Singer.
Well, that's because you don't like good movies.
Right. I don't like good movies. You schmuck on wheels.
The Mexican's a good one, too. I like that one, but that's another Julia Roberts one, but that's Pitt and Julia.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, Steph mentioned Stepmom. That's got fucking Julia. I think Steph just, I think she should come on camera and explain why the fuck she doesn't like Julia Roberts.
What, Mark? What? I'm afraid.
Saying that I don't like fucking, that I don't like good movies. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
That's probably.
He's playing video games. That's how little Mark gives a fuck right now. He's just like, I don't even have time to deal with your bullshit and prove that you're wrong. I'm playing video games.
Yeah, basically.
See, I was right. Back to When Harry Met Sally. It's got a fucking. What I love is that it is complete two opposites that are attracting, and they don't like each other. And it is the opposites attract, but it's also the fact that it shows that it rips apart the whole standard of can men and women be friends without having sex get in the way? And the answer is no.
At least prove that point, though.
Yeah, but this one really kind of like it may not have been the first one to show that, but it was definitely the one to talk all about it. It was sort of breaking the fourth wall and in a roundabout way kind of spoofing old school romance movies by talking of it's like the Scream of fucking romantic comedies is sort of how I'm looking at it. It's very meta and self-referential. Self-aware,
I mean, yeah. I guess so. I don't know. Apparently I don't like movies. So I don't.
You like movies. I'm not gonna fucking go over this again with you.
Well, it seems quite a bit.
I'm tired of constantly trying to like defend you against yourself and then ripping my own hair out, being like, well, all right, I can't fucking defend you if you're gonna keep saying shit. I'm gonna rip out Dino's hair.
Yeah, there you go. By the way, if you are watching this on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, and you're chiming in on this, we would love your feedback, but unfortunately we don't see that here. So please go over to getvokl.com/PodAskew and join the chat room fun here. There's a running chat room and we can see what you have to say. It's getvokl.com/PodAskew. Jump on over and hang out with us.
There is actually somebody, I did talk to somebody who is unable to do it, but he is watching us through Twitter. And that's Scotty Robson.
Oh, okay.
because he sent me a fucking picture of Droopykin Skywalker.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he sent me he did a whole fucking thing, and I'm like, where the fuck were you? Like, we didn't see you in the room. He's just like, I watched it on Twitter, and I said, why don't you come on and get Vokl? And he says, I have very limited data, so I can't do it. I'm like, that's whatever, that's fair.
Nah,
thank you for watching regardless.
Yeah,
but yeah,
for real,
if that's the situation, you can't jump on and say hello, then
By the way, your thing about Troopykin, I was on a thing earlier where someone took the Karen hairdo and put it on Kylo Ren and then called it Karen. Yeah, it was a chuckle. Yeah, so
I will finish what you've started. Can I speak to the manager?
But yeah, I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of those like off the wall comedies, those ones that you wouldn't think would be a comedy that actually are. But then there are other ones that I can think of immediately, like Hitch. Hitch is one that I love. Hitch is a great film.
Yeah,
it's and then of course, and I'm not. It's gonna sound like I'm making a joke, but they say this in the film, and I agree. Deadpool, the first one. He says it.
Released on Valentine's Day. It's definitely a love movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's what was the line from it? My boyfriend said this was a romantic film, and he just turned that fucking dude into a kebab or something like that. Remember in the beginning on
shish kebab? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think it says shish. I think it just says kebab. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna quibble over the line, but it just was. It was just funny. So
I mean, there are also the classics in the sense of like, okay, Sleepless in Seattle is a weird romantic comedy, but it is a classic romantic comedy because it's really kind of all about a woman who just is obsessed and stalking a dude and his kid.
It's funny though, because I actually prefer, and it's the same character, it's not the same character, same actors. I prefer You've Got Mail to Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle for me has some of the funnier situations. Like the kids, I think are cute and funny.
Yeah.
The part where they're Tom Hanks and Victor Garber are making fun of Rita Wilson because she's crying over a movie, a traditional love movie, and they're making fun of her and react like, "Oh my God, remember The Godfather?" When it was just like, "Oh, stop it!" Like, and they're making fun of her.
Hold on, can I mark down the date and time? Steph agreed with me over you. I want to write that down because that's rare.
That's fine.
I'm just making a joke.
Yeah, I mean, I see right now. I don't particularly fucking like You've Got Mail because I saw it the night before Mom died, and it really is kind of like hitting with me.
That's fair. I mean, and look, I'm not saying it's like the fucking romantic film of all time. I'm just saying it's
I also saw it pretty late. I saw Sleepless in Seattle a lot when I was little, and I saw You've Got Mail when I was probably like 17 or 18.
I actually think I've seen Sleepless in Seattle, I think once, and I've seen You've Got Mail like 4 or 5 times. So, I mean, I think it just depends on what you've seen more of too, right? I think that plays a role.
I've seen When Harry Met Sally like 30 times. So there's my winner.
Which I still need to watch that, honestly. I do want to see it.
Should watch it.
Yeah. Windows are open, by the way, guys. Anyone who wants to jump on. I will say that there's one that hasn't come up yet that you and I have referenced. We haven't referenced it in a while, but there was a point in time where we referenced it quite a bit because we're both huge fans of it that I'm aware of, and that's Kate and Leopold.
Yeah, see, when I agree, like it's definitely, first off, Meg Ryan is sort of the unofficial queen of like romantic comedies, whether they're good or bad. She happens to be in them. Kate and Leopold, When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless, and fucking You've Got Mail. All these fucking movies we've been.
The one with Matthew Broderick. I can't remember what it is, but he's watching through like the window. They're playing like a movie. I'll have to fucking find it.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I'll find it. Hold on.
Sliver? It sounds like Sliver.
No.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was going to say. Kate Leopold is great until you really think about like what's happening, because for those who haven't seen it, I'm going to have to spoil it because it's fucking bananas. So Hugh Jackman is Leopold.
Okay. Before you, I still want you to explain, but suspension of disbelief, my man. This is the argument we always have.
And this is my argument. It's great until you think about it. And it's not just like, oh, it's not like a plot hole. It's just like, oh, that's weird that they did that. It's not like, yeah, well, it's not like when you and I are complaining, be like, well, how come when Batman was in the fucking like, the fucking pit that Bane drops him in, he's just like out in the middle of fucking India or wherever the fuck, and he's able to get to Gotham with no money, no Alfred, and like, see, that's a plot hole where like we can expand upon. This is something where it's like, okay, so Liev Schreiber at one point was dating Meg Ryan's character. She's the Kate. And then he goes back in time through like a wormhole, and Hugh Jackman's character, Leopold, from like the 19th century, follows him. They both fall into the fucking wormhole and are in modern day. And I mean modern day, I mean 2001 New York City. And so he's like, fish out of water, man out of time, and blah, blah, blah. And then he meets with Kate, and they don't fucking like each other, and they fucking fall in love. And the end of the film, she fucking goes back in time to live with him and be with him and live happily ever after. But the implication, they actually flat out say that Liev Schreiber's character is a descendant of Leopold. And then that means if they are fucking, then he was fucking his great fucking grand, and you're like, what? Like, they could have just fixed the whole fucking thing by saying, oh, he's totally not a descendant. But they still did that. They were like, we're gonna, yeah.
But I think if you really want to throw a thing at this, it fits the time travel explanation from Endgame, where he's like, why? That's why, not Gamora. What the fuck's her name? I'm blanking all of a sudden.
Nebula?
What's that? Yeah, why Nebula could shoot herself and not die, or why Gamora could shoot her and not die. Like,
I mean, that's multiple timelines and multiple alternate fucking versions of oneself.
Thing. I mean,
no, it's the fucking revolving thing. Like, he exists because no matter what, at one point she went back into time to fucking fuck Wolverine to make Sabretooth eventually.
All right. So anyway, the movie I was thinking of, the Meg Ryan one with Matthew Broderick, was called Addicted to Love.
I haven't seen that one.
So I'll read it real quick. It's good-natured astronomer Sam, Matthew Broderick, is devastated when the love of his life, Linda, not Meg Ryan, leaves him for a suave Frenchman named Anton. He therefore does what every normal dumpy would do, go to New York and set up a home in the abandoned building opposite his ex-girlfriend's apartment, intent on winning her back and waiting until she decides to leave her current lover. What Sam does not count on is being joined several weeks later by ultra-hip tomboy Maggie, a photographer and motorcyclist who is determined to get revenge on Anton, her ex-fiance. Hostile at first, the two of them eventually join forces in an attempt to separate the couple and ruin Anton's life. However, complications ensue when they fall for each other.
You really should see When Harry Met Sally. You should just watch that movie.
And again, Meg Ryan. So
yeah, but even if you don't like Meg Ryan, you get Billy Crystal.
I have no problem with Meg Ryan.
No, I'm just saying Billy Crystal helps. I mean, they fucking help balance that movie crazy well. Steph and I watched that movie, and I'm just like, you are totally Sally. She's like, you're totally Harry, and sometimes I feel like Harry, and I'm, stuff like that. It's a great relatable fucking movie, and it's based on Nora Ephron and Rob Reiner, who wrote it.
Okay.
And directed it. Rob Reiner directed it. So
hey, let me ask you this: just because we're shooting things around and trying different ideas here, could you say and only the first one, that Ocean's 11 is a romantic film to some degree, because he is trying to get Tess back through the whole thing. Or is that more of like a side story on more of a caper film or a heist?
His motive is ultimately revenge based on the guy who's screwing. I mean, as Brad Pitt puts it, he's like, you're doing this for because you're screwing this because the guy is screwing your wife, or however he phrases it.
Don't tell me you're doing this to screw the guy that's screwing your wife, ex-wife.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So in Danny's world, yes, it's a romantic film. However, the other 10 motherfuckers are like, no, we just want to get money.
Okay. Well, so, and then I would argue Rusty might be more on Danny's side than it portrays, but definitely. But the other nine for sure. No argument for me. I'm just saying, Rusty might be the one. So
I'm just saying it's got about it has as much romance as, like, say a typical action adventure movie has, where like the guy gets the girl.
So it's more about the heist than the. No, I get it. I just
whereas on the other hand, The Princess Bride, I would argue, is a romance story first and a fantasy film second.
I got to be honest with you. I wasn't a fan.
Oh man, you're about to lose a lot of fucking friends in this room.
Well, that's all right. I lost a lot of. I seem to do that every week, but
you want to say that I fucking don't like good movies?
Well, here's the thing. Like I don't. I'm not sitting here saying it's a piece of shit or anything. I'm just saying I didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like
What didn't you like about it?
It just didn't. I don't mean to keep going back to the Hughes films, but like you said, they just didn't connect. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not sitting here telling you that if you like it, you're stupid or something. Because I can see the appeal. You know what I mean? Like, but to me, it's more. You're talking about how it's a romance film, and some of these other people that are in the room, like Terry and Steph, and they're saying as well, and that's fine. To me, it was more of a fantasy film that had like this thing. Like to me, if you're going to say The Princess Bride is that, then so is A Never-Ending Story. Which I'm not saying it is, but that would be the same equivalent in my brain. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
I guess.
I don't know.
When was the last time you saw Princess Bride?
Oh, God.
That's my point right there. Because
20 years, probably.
So when I first saw Princess Bride as a kid, I didn't like it. I thought it was. I only saw it as a set.
I was 17 first time.
I know, but despite what we all say, you do grow up over the years.
Sure.
So, when I saw it as a kid, I was like, this is stupid. It's all romance, like blah, blah, blah. And then as an adult, I'm like, this fucking movie is hysterical. Like, it's really funny. And if you, no matter what, you have to watch it with subtitles purely for the fact that no one knows what the fuck Andre the Giant's saying. So,
that's the same thing when he did his wrestling promos. Mark will back me up on that.
But he has some of the best fucking jokes.
Sure. Look, and everyone. Okay, well, you're special, Mark. What can I say?
Sure.
But there's also, and obviously everyone knows I'm Inigo Montoya. You kill my, you kill my father. Prepare to die. Everybody knows that. I know that line. You know what I mean? Like it's just, and I get it, because that line's been used to death in multiple things. There's a whole episode of How I Met Your Mother where it gets used. There's a whole episode of The Big Bang Theory where it gets used. So it happens, and I don't have but here's the thing: I don't have like a fundamental problem with it. I just don't see it.
I'm saying it's one of, whereas I would say When Harry Met Sally is a timeless movie that anybody can appreciate. Like, I saw When Harry Met Sally when I was 8 or 9, and I fucking loved it then.
Right.
I would say Princess Bride can be a timeless classic for certain people, or it's one of those movies that you have to see at least twice over the course of a couple years to really fucking fully appreciate it.
I could see that.
That's and Steph and I fucking both like it because we did one of those retro movie outings where like they were playing an older movie in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just said. Oh, okay.
I didn't know if you had read it, so
I did. Yeah.
So it's
I think I remember when you guys did that. Like I think you told me about it. I think it was because you. It was after the show.
Yeah. Well, then we did that again with Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Right, but I think I was around for both of those, if I recall. So, all right. So I have a controversial one for you, just because just because it's fun, and I'm not saying that I'm not even saying that I believe it is. I'm more asking the question, right? So this is me just posing the question as opposed to thinking or saying that it is. I know you're not a fan of the film. However, is Attack of the Clones because there's that whole thing with Anakin and Padme through most of the film.
Mm-hmm.
So does that technically qualify? Again, this is not about the quality of the film.
No. I'm trying to fucking look at it from like a romantic lens. Yeah, it's a romantic film. It's a love story. I would hear me out. I would argue that the prequels themselves are the more love driven of the Star Wars films.
For sure. Yeah, without question.
So I would say Attack of the Clones definitely. Well, I don't know. Revenge of the Sith. They're still in love, but it's more of a tragic love because like he's really paranoid.
I mean, look at. But see, then look at Shakespeare. Shakespeare, most of his love stories are tragedies. So I mean, it still qualifies.
I would say that it is a love story, but it's not a healthy love story. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all that is the movie Marriage Story with fucking Adam Driver and fucking ScarJo, but with like fucking lightsabers and politics and Star Wars and shit.
Gotcha.
All that is. Because it's not a healthy relationship by any stretch of the means. I still think he fucking Jedi mind tricked her ass.
Yeah. Well, here's another one. It's an interesting one. It's not Star Wars, but it would just be, here's another. Could you consider My Cousin Vinny a romantic or a love story?
I would say that falls in the same category or the same example as like the first Ocean's 11, because I would not say that's a romantic film. I would say that there is a couple. To me, a romantic film is about people that do fall in love. We see the course of the relationship. They have a hissy fit. They break up. Usually, and I don't agree with it, but usually the man realizes that he's a fuck up and he has to fucking do something outlandish to fucking win her back. Which
that is kind of what happens in My Cousin Vinny. They come together. They come there. Wait, hear me out. They come there together in love. They get into a fight because he's all stressed out about the court case. She fucking threatens to leave. He realizes how much help she actually is, makes her damn testify, and then they get married. You don't see them get married, but you know they're going off to get married by the end of it.
The exception being is that it's primarily it's a courtroom drama. It's a courtroom comedy.
I was going to say, it ain't a drama.
Well, I mean, tell that to the fucking people in jail.
Well, okay.
Tell that to the guy who got executed off screen. You know, when the lights dimmer and shit.
Yep.
And look, my point was that most romantic movies, they have a meet cute. We've already gotten the Vinny and the Mona Lisa couple. You know, they've already been together presumably for at least 10 years because she's been complaining that like she hasn't gotten married yet and blah blah blah. It's been so. And I would argue that no matter what he said or did, whether it was like him being a prick or whatever, she was eventually gonna fucking say, "I can't deal with your bullshit anymore," walk away, and then he's gonna make a mistake, or he's gonna try and rectify that mistake.
So we have two in the chat there. We have first Jay said Splash, which I thought was mentioned earlier, but maybe I missed it, or maybe I read it wrong. And then your beautiful bride, not to be, says 27 dresses. I don't know. I just you all right there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to fucking decipher how to interpret that.
I don't know. No, I wasn't meant in any negative way. It was me tripping over my tongue. So
I have never seen Splash, apart from
neither
clips. I've seen
Hey,
lots of clips of it. Hey, Todd. But I have not seen 27 Dresses. I have like a weird thought about Katherine Heigl, because Katherine Heigl, I think, definitely got blacklisted, and I feel bad for her as an actress. Like, stemming from fucking Knocked Up, she's been kind of blacklisted, and she was
Is she a Weinstein victim?
No. I don't mean blacklisted in that scenario. I'm saying she was in the movie Knocked Up, and while she was doing promotion for it,
oh, I remember. Yeah, you told me. But go ahead.
She called the film and the filmmakers ultimately, as she puts it, a little sexist. Now, here's the problem. She's not wrong. She's absolutely right. You watch that movie, all the guys are fun-loving, schlubby, fucking man children. Even Paul Rudd, who's got his shit together, is just like the witty fucking, want to have fun. And all the women are portrayed as fucking nagging shrews. And so I understand her point of view. And ultimately, her career was never the same. I mean, and then she made some fucking, she thought she was getting her own fucking power in Hollywood. So she would make decisions for like she wanted writers to write for her character differently than how they were pitching. And she was complaining about the writers, so they said, well, fuck you, we'll just kill you off. And it was like fucking, what was it, Grey's Anatomy or where the fuck show she was on. And I'm saying that she was in a string of bad movies because she had to be, either through contractual obligations or because she just wasn't getting any offers and she needed to pay her mortgage. So no, I have not seen 27 Dresses. I just feel bad for the actress, is what I'm saying.
Sure. Jay brought out an old school one that I think I've seen part of, when she said Overboard.
I still have not seen the original Overboard. I say the original because they have remade it.
They have remade it. Deb loves the original one. I know she does. She's told me, and I know she watched the original and said it was okay. It wasn't as much of an abomination as most of these remakes tend to be. So
I was never the biggest Goldie Hawn fan, to the point where I was like, I mean, I saw Private Benjamin and I saw Death Becomes Her.
To the point in the room, I don't think they were watching it for Goldie. They were watching it for Kurt.
Okay, well, the majority of the people, well, actually, no, the majority of the people in there are women, so I don't blame them.
Jared.
And hey, Jared, I didn't even know you were here. Well,
he just popped in from my knowledge. Hey, people, grab spots here. The windows are open. Just be prepared to talk romantic films, the comedies or not. So,
yeah.
I'm what I'm trying to do, just for people just joining us, is I'm trying to find like the odd ones, the obscurities, to see, just because it's fun that way, right? Like, it's not because there's anything wrong with the ones you're picking. Like, I would even argue Tron Legacy to a degree, because he and Olivia Wilde's character by the end of it, but it's not a romantic film,
See, that's where it differs. There are clear genres where, like, that's a romantic film, that's a romantic comedy, and this is an action film where the guy gets the girl. Yes, there's romance, but it's not really.
That's fair. That's fair. So, what would you say for something like Twister, though? Because that's
a disaster film.
But it also has the love story throughout the film.
But that's like acknowledging, yes, there's a fucking love connection in the remake of Godzilla. You see what I'm saying? Like,
which I've never seen, but I trust you. I know what you're saying.
Or whatever. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Like,
OG romantic fall in love film, King Kong.
With fucking Kong wanting to fuck the woman?
Yeah.
I mean, we call it interspecies erotica, fucko.
That's a good point. How about Clerks 2?
Clerks 2, I would definitely say has the closest to becoming a romantic comedy out of most of his movies, with the exception of Chasing Amy. Chasing Amy, I would not call a romantic comedy. I would call, in my own opinion, I would call it a an honest portrayal of all things relationship wise.
Yeah, I would agree.
It does have romance and it does have comedy, but I would not call it a romantic comedy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, well, they don't have to be romantic comedies too. I mean, we're talking about some that are just pure romance stories. Like one that comes to mind for me is No Reservations. There's little to no comedy in that. Well, not no, but it's not a comedy film for sure. So
sure.
Go on, Jared.
What's going on, guys?
We're just talking romantic films.
Have you guys discussed what are your thoughts on A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger?
Oh, I love that movie. That's
a great movie.
Yeah.
See, I would take that, and I would say that to me feels more like a romance film with an action subtext in the background, as opposed to something like Twister or an action film, which is an action film first, and then there's he's just trying to get some love on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I hear that. No, that makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of films you can make those arguments for, Rico. Like, for example, if you really want to stretch, and I'm talking like if you really want to nitpick, right? So I understand that I'm digging here, but The Godfather with the relationship between Michael and Kay, throughout the whole thing. But that's more to your point, the action thing with this love thing on the side, right? So
right.
Same thing with the Star Wars one that I said earlier, with the time Todd and Jared weren't here, and I just threw out there as a positive, a positive, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now, but just thinking of it. No, there's a word that means Steph probably knows the word I'm going for, but I can't think of it. Anyway, whether or not Attack of the Clones could theoretically be a romantic film, because there's that whole thing throughout the film between Padme and Anakin. I'm not saying it's not talking about the quality of the film, but just talking about the romance aspect of it. So
let me liken it to this. It's a romance film in the same sense that you find out your relative who's 14 is really going after somebody, and you happen to listen to this they're outside talking to the girl they're trying to woo, and you're just inside and you can hear exactly what they're fucking saying, when I'm with you I'm in agony, you don't understand, boo, 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 boo. and you're just okay, to them they think they're in love. Who am I to tell them they're not in love? They have no fucking clue what they're saying and doing, but they feel that shit, and they can't fucking deliver it properly. But that's they'll learn, motherfuckers. And,
hey, I want to give Todd a second for a sound check, because I think he spoke earlier and we didn't hear him. Yeah, we're not hearing you, buddy. No, we're not hearing you. I thought so, and that's why I wanted to give him a chance to try to fix it, because I know he had something he wanted to say, and I didn't want to be that dick. More than usual, apparently.
Kateri asked about Steph and I saw Love Potion #9.
Yeah.
I had never seen it, and she'd been wanting me to watch it for a while. It's good. I liked it. I thought it was funny.
I didn't like it. Dev had me watch it a few years ago, and I wasn't a fan personally.
I predicted everything that was going to happen, but that's just mostly because I've seen a fucking metric ton of movies. And I kind of just know where shit that's why I really like a movie where it's I did not see that shit coming, because I applaud a filmmaker who can make me be holy shit, you see that coming? And they're all yeah, you fucking jackass.
All right, Todd, sound check. Nope. No. Here's another one. Now, this started as a stage play, but I would love to hear both your feedback on this. And Jared, again, welcome to the show, buddy. What about Rent?
Yeah, Rent is a love musical.
Yeah.
I would say that the biggest message is that you want to get a fucking love story, find people trying to fucking come up with a rent together. They'll fucking,
right.
Yeah, I've never actually seen Rent myself.
I like it. I'm a fan, but that's just me.
I like Trey Parker's version more. Everyone's got AIDS.
Okay.
That's Team America. Thank you.
Have you guys discussed Sleepless in Seattle already?
Yeah,
we did. Please give us your input.
I saw it for the first time 2 weeks ago, and obviously I don't hate Tom Hanks, right? He's fucking Tom Hanks. But that being said, I wasn't that impressed with the movie because it's basically like an hour and a half of two people, one person being maniacally in love with someone that they don't know, and then falling deeply in love within the last 5 seconds of the movie. And then that's the entire thing.
Well,
hey, it's funny, Jared, because I actually said that I'm a bigger fan of You've Got Mail, which is potentially the same film, but well, at least the same concept, but different. It's not the same film because the execution different. But okay, hold on, go Todd. Yes, we have you now.
Well, we don't hear you. I think through your microphone. I think we hear you through your computer.
I think so. At least
my mic. It's like
okay. No, I think it is his mic. He's right.
There we go.
You were lagging for a second, Todd. You're good now, but you were lagging at the beginning there. I think that's what caused it.
That's probably because I'm downloading Miles Morales.
Oh, are you? It's if you haven't played it yet, it's good. It's really good. You'll enjoy that. I'm trying to look up. I'm looking at my films here. Okay. Rico,
let's talk about romantic movies, not specifically romantic comedies, but just romance movies in general.
Yeah.
I saw somebody mention Overboard earlier, and I actually watched both versions of it. I do prefer the original to the new one, but the new one isn't terrible, but isn't great either. If you get what I mean. I do. It's it was
fine.
Good for the year it came out. I mean, it's not anything like the original. I mean, it's actually a complete 180 different because it's the roles are reversed. Like it's Anna Faris instead of
Goldie.
No, she plays the part of the one scamming the rich person.
I haven't seen any of them.
I have a question before I go further. Who here, chat room included, has seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
I have.
Okay, so that's at least 3 of us on camera. So I like that. Do we think that might qualify?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Mark. I know your your story on that as well. Go ahead, Todd.
What I was going to say is in the new one, Anna Faris plays the part that Kurt Russell played in the original one. She plays the one who's scamming the rich person who has a nice big fancy boat and stuff. That's what I was going to say.
The gender bending.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Have you guys seen Her with Joaquin Phoenix? Have you talked about that?
I love that film. That's a good one.
Watch it.
It's a pretty good one, and obviously it falls within romantic, but it also falls within the darker side of romance movies, like a breakup movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked Her.
Yeah, Kateri said it. Good poll. That's a good poll, Jared. I
still think that Scarlett should have at least been nominated for an Oscar for her performance because we were all falling in love with her
just from her voice.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I feel like she got cheated on that too. Steph brings up an interesting one, Bicentennial Man. I love that movie, and I've never really thought of it as a romantic film, but I guess it makes sense.
I definitely think of that as a romantic film.
I see. I look at it, and okay. So let me ask you this: whether you like the film or not, would that make Time Machine one as well? Because I feel like it's similar in that regard.
I've never seen Time Machine, but Steph says yes.
Okay,
you're talking about the Time Machine and talking about the the Wells movie.
I've only seen
Guy Pearce.
Yes.
The one. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
No, that story is definitely a well. I mean, there's romantic elements to it, but I think overall it's a science fiction film first.
Okay. But see, and by that same standard, and Todd, I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing with you, but by that same standard, that's where I would put Bicentennial Man. So it's got a great love story in it, but I think the bigger story is about this robot coming to age and becoming human, and then it has the thing on the side, like you've talked about, Rico. So yes, there's this great story on the side about it, but I don't think it's the main focus of the film. You know,
you beat me by like a half a second. I was gonna say, Bicentennial Man is just a coming of age story. You know, it just happened. It's also Pinocchio, really.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
basically Pinocchio.
It's Pinocchio who gets, fuck becoming a real boy. He just wants to, he just wants to eventually die happy.
I also want to stress, just for the listening audience or the viewing audience, I love Bicentennial Man. I think it's a fantastic film. Like, I've got zero problem with the film. It's one of my favorites, but I just don't know if it qualifies for a romantic film so much, so he died long. I mean, yes, he did fuck, but he didn't die like, it wasn't like Kane death. Like he came multiple times.
It was not the opening scene of Dave. Let's put it that way.
I love it. Yeah, Jared, you got any more, buddy? You've been pretty quiet.
Did you guys bring up High Fidelity? I feel like it's kind of elitist to ever bring up that movie.
That was the first thing he said was High Fidelity.
Jared, that is my all-time favorite movie. I fucking love that movie. Rico will tell you, I talk about that movie to death off air. Like, don't forget recording.
Fuck having a top 5 like favorite movies. He just has one.
No, but that is my inspiration. Why I have a lot of different top 5s is because of that movie. Like, I definitely make top 5 lists because of that film. So yeah. But what are your thoughts on it, buddy? You weren't here when we talked about it, so.
High Fidelity. Once again, it goes around the idea of like the darker side of romance, because he's going through his top 5 breakups or top 10 breakups or whatever. Top 5, right? But yeah,
top 10 it'd be 2 fucking movies.
Yeah, for real.
That's a sequel.
But I mean,
Fidelity.
I'm biased. I just love that movie I love that movie for many reasons. But Jack Black. Being a record collector myself, it's just, that's why I thought it might be taboo to bring up in a movie podcast, because it's like they're all elitists talking about music. So it's like, can you even bring that up?
The irony for me with that film, Jared, is Rico and I agree on this. It's one of the few things I think we strongly agree on is neither of us are huge Jack Black fans.
Yeah.
But I feel like he plays that role well. Like, that's one of the roles.
It's like one of the only roles he plays well.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what, like, a lot of his other films I can't fucking stand. I can name 3 movies Jack Black's in that I like, only 2 of which he's a primary character. The High Fidelity as one, School of Rock is the other. He's actually not bad in that film. I'm surprised how much I like him in that one. Mm-hmm. And then I actually really like a movie that nobody's fucking ever seen called Airborne, where he plays this high school student. It's like probably one of his first films, and he's like a 3rd-tier character at best.
Well, what about Shallow Hal, bringing it back to like romance movies?
No, I've seen it, and I didn't like the film, and B, I mean, yes, I think it qualifies, but I didn't like the film, and B, I don't like him in it. So
I would also argue that CJ is not really a big fan of the Farrelly Brothers movies. Like, he doesn't like Dumb and Dumber.
As a whole, yeah. What's that?
I can understand someone's position of not liking Dumb and Dumber. However, like with comedy movies such as that, I'm not saying that you don't understand them for what they are, but I just take them for what they are, and like, and that's how I view them,
It's not his cup of tea. I mean,
I can understand that though.
Yeah, and listen, there's some films that people watch or mention, and I'm like, you're stupid for liking that. I don't say that about Dumb and Dumber. I just don't. It's like, it's not my cup of tea. I assume Mark is here to yell at me about something, so I'm going to give him the opportunity.
No, I can really only fucking yell at you so many times before it eventually just becomes like fucking farting at a brick wall.
Thank you, Mark.
That is a whole new interpretation of huff and puff, and I'll blow your house down.
Oh, man.
Well, CJ's small. It doesn't take a big wind to take him off.
Did I ever tell you guys a story about when I was in 6th grade and I actually got picked up by the wind and moved about 3 feet and dropped? Yeah. In 6th grade, I probably only weighed like 75 pounds. Like, I was small. And there was this part of my grade school that was the way it was built, I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but it functioned like a wind tunnel. And I was walking through it on a really windy day, and it literally picked me up and moved me about 3 feet and dropped me.
I've had that happen to me when I was on a bicycle. Like I was really heavy winds. I was riding my bike, and it all of a sudden scooted. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. So, Never Been Kissed is a good one.
Still have never seen it.
I don't know that you would like it, Rico.
We talked about it on the Hughes episode, but
we did.
Yeah.
What about Rico? What about here's an interesting one. Just another what about it? But Finding Neverland.
No, I wouldn't call that a love film because I don't think there's really not an establishing romance between J.M. Barrie and whatever the fuck Kate Winslet's character is.
You're right. I don't remember her name, but yeah.
It's more of like if it's his relationship with the children and not in that fucking romantic way, but like it's just like he wants to be a parental father figure to these kids, but at no point do like we can acknowledge they enjoy each other's company, but I don't think they're in love with each other. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I can agree with that. I saw Steph run out another list here. One of them immediately that I thought of she's right, I love is Fever Pitch. I'm not the biggest Jimmy Fallon fan, but that's a good film.
See, there are not that many fucking movies where I can recommend a movie to my dad and he'll actually say that was pretty good. But of course, it's going to be something about the Red Sox. Yeah. Exactly. But he was like, you know what this woman looks like, and I'm like, who? He's like, she kind of looks like the girl from E.T. And I'm like,
it is
really. I was like, Drew Barrymore, looking like Drew Barrymore. Who the fuck would have thunk of that?
Jared, you're his cousin, obviously. What's your what's the word I'm looking for here? Your experiences with Ron? They have to be.
They're actually. The last time that I saw Ron I was probably like 8 or 9.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I never really had any much of a relationship. Yeah, I never really had too much of a relationship with him.
Gotcha. My bad. Sorry, I just because
he would look at me and be like, "Who the fuck is this kid? Get away from me!"
Honestly, if Jared came over here right now,
Jared, he looks at Rico and says that, and that's his son. So I mean,
if Jared came over here right now and went upstairs without me going up and saying, "Hey, Dad, Jared's on his way. You know, remember my cousin?" Blah blah blah. Dad would just be like, "Who the fuck are you? Get him, Sophia!" Like, you know, he would just probably be like, "What is this 7-foot fucking motherfucker coming in my house for?"
Okay, I have another what if scenario for you guys. You ready?
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
I mean, it is a romance movie to some degree.
It is a romance movie. It's about as much of a romance movie as Bicentennial Man is, but with that other hidden layer, because it is a coming of age, but it's not just coming of Forrest's age; it's coming of the ages around him.
Yeah, true.
But there's always that underlying thing about Jenny. You know what I mean?
So,
yeah, he may not be a smart man, but he knows what love is, Jenny.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nicely put. However, I would love for you all to hear my stance on how Jenny did not deserve Forrest in any fucking way.
She didn't deserve Forrest. There's no question about that.
Easily one of the worst fucking, like, you know, the person you're going to fucking throw your heart at. The worst fucking person. She's like, hey, I'm just going to fuck off, leave you alone, like, jerk you around for fucking years, and then, like, get impregnated from you, ditch your ass again, and then reach out to you once I get fucking AIDS for you to take care of me, because I also know that you have, like, $1 million.
I think Todd takes it a step far, but I get his point. Just saying.
I agree with that. She's a toxic cunt.
Okay, so Mark agrees.
Black peas and cuttings.
What about?
I'm not in the Legion of Doom. They're not gonna fucking cancel me. Fuck that.
What about Coyote Ugly?
I've only seen that movie once.
Yeah, and I've never seen it.
They focus enough on the romance for it to be a proper romance story. The story is more about her sort of evolving into the character that she is in the narrative, and the romance is kind of secondary in the film.
Okay, that's
but
fair.
I wouldn't inherently I wouldn't fight against it particularly hard.
Oh, the other one I just thought of, Rico, and I think this falls more into the way you were saying, like the way Twister has, and maybe a Knight's Tale, but Underworld, the first one, because of the between Celine and I'm blanking on this name, but yeah,
Michael Corbin.
Yeah.
Any movie that steals from Romeo and Juliet is automatically a romance film, at least in some capacity.
Which, by the way, was mentioned earlier, Romeo and Juliet.
Well, I didn't ask them. I didn't look because honestly, dude, my new glasses, like, I feel like you saw me put. Yeah, but I don't want to fucking constantly do that and like go back to the old ones and the new ones. It'll make my eyes tired even more. I had to put in fucking eye drops, but all I think I did was just make my eyes gunkier. I don't. Which Romeo? Which Romeo and Juliet were you guys referring to? The one with fucking
they didn't
Leo?
Say, my immediate thought would be the DiCaprio, Claire Danes.
Well, I mean, any version of Romeo and Juliet technically falls into that, but the one most people probably seen is Romeo plus Juliet.
That's what I was referring to.
Which I actually really enjoyed.
Okay, I got one.
Yeah, what do you got?
The Shape of Water.
I haven't seen it.
You know what I call that one?
What?
Grinding Nemo.
That movie's fucking but that movie's fucking good though. That movie's fucking good.
Actually, I still haven't seen it. Steph saw it. She was like, "You'll fucking hate it." I'm like, "I'll." See, that threw me a curveball because I like Guillermo del Toro, but like, if she was just like, "I don't think you'll like it," I'm like, "All right, I'll still probably see it eventually."
I thought it was a good movie. I don't know. I thought it was a good movie.
I got another off the wall one for you guys, but I'm enjoying.
I got one that'll piss Carl off.
Who the fuck is Carl?
The guy, fucking Wonder Woman 84.
I don't have a problem with that. I could see that actually.
I thought you didn't like that movie though.
It's the same romance as the first movie though.
Yeah, but it's way worse.
It's way worse.
Jared, in the first movie, she's not fucking raping a guy who isn't there.
I think the biggest flaw of that whole fucking movie is that guy got to fuck Wonder Woman for a week and he didn't know it. Also, he was pretty much 100% raped for a week and he didn't fucking know it.
He really was, though, dude.
He was really like. Couldn't they just done a Dogma situation? Just take a fucking person who's been in a coma and put fucking Steve Trevor in there?
Well, that was your argument during the recording. Yeah.
I stick by with it.
Have you guys discussed the most romantic movie of all time? Twilight.
Twilight.
I thought you were going to say
movie.
Today, so I'm glad you went with
Twilight. It's a romance movie. It's a bad romance movie. Romance movie.
Twilight is just if you took the fucking shitty dialogue from Attack of the Clones and made 4 fucking movies out of it.
Hold on.
There was 4 movies.
Todd wants to say something about, I don't know, I didn't catch what he wants to talk about, but
I think he wants to
either Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one.
Here, I can make a difference.
All right, Todd. Here we go.
Floor is yours. Sort of.
Vampires do not sparkle.
Okay, you need to say that again because there was a huge lag on you coming on.
Oh, is there? Okay. Number 1, vampires do not sparkle.
No shit. Period.
All right. When that movie had come out, I have family that lives in Port Angeles, which is literally like 20 miles away from Forks. And we were going to a place out in the Olympic National Forest called Saldock Hot Springs, which is like 5 miles from Forks. On our way out there, we stopped at this little convenience store / gas station, and they had a little sticker in the window that said "Bitten by Twilight." And I had never seen the movie at that point. I said, "What's with the sticker?" I was like, "Oh, we were in the movie." I was like, "Oh, okay." It's like, "Wait, you haven't seen this?" Like, do I look like I'm a 12-year-old girl? I am not the demographic for that movie.
All right.
So what'd you really think?
And now I can't hear you guys for some reason.
You can't hear us?
Damn it. I've been having problems tonight. First of all, you guys couldn't hear me. And then I got lots of echo and weird sounds, and now I can't hear you at all.
Okay, hold on.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me
nothing.
now? Okay.
I got the sound turned up and everything. Fucking A.
All right.
Anyways, the movie sucks. I saw it. I got about maybe halfway through it before I turned it off. I will never see the rest of the sequels ever. No reason to.
Okay. Thank you, Todd.
Yes. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Jared, for starting shit.
I'm so happy. I'm sorry.
What did he start? I don't.
He was like, I just want to fucking see some shit start.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
So much anger.
I forgot the thing I was going to ask you guys about, but Rico, here's an interesting one for you. How about Sin City?
Where's the fucking romance in Sin City?
I think honestly,
I would say kind of sort of in the Yellow Bastard episode.
I was thinking there's that, or there's the
Marv's episode.
I was thinking between Bruce Willis and Jessica Alba's character to a degree.
Like I don't necessarily agree, but I was postulating that's where he was coming from. The major problem I think with those two stories is that, well, partially they don't spend nearly enough time on the actual romantic aspects of it in order to really qualify, but also Marv's story is kind of sort of like we don't really know that this woman necessarily loves him in the strictest sense of things.
Yeah,
and it's really more a revenge story for that. Whereas the story with Bruce Willis's character is like this girl fucking fell in love with him because he did a hero thing, and it is deeply unrequited on his end. I think.
The hero thing is a frequent thing in most action movies. More often than not, the woman sides with the hero because he did a hero thing.
My issue with it is the age gap there, because she's 20 and he's like 60.
Well, yes, there's that problem too.
Right.
I have another. I did remember the one I was going to say, so I want to say it before I forget. And this is again, I'm stretching and I'm doing it on purpose just for the purpose of conversation. But Fight Club,
kinda.
I mean, Fight Club's a romance movie if it also is technically a threesome movie.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, sure.
The love triangle.
Well, it's the ultimate love triangle film. That's right, Jared. And that's what happens is fucking Edward Norton breaks up with Brad Pitt at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, here I got one. Have you guys seen the movie Closer?
No, I've never even heard of it. Honestly,
it's one of my favorite fucking movies, but I definitely call it an anti-romance film because in a sense of Chasing Amy shows all the honest portrayals of love, sex, hetero, and homosexual relationships and betrayal and blah, blah, blah. This is similar to that without the lesbianism and gayness. It's just all backstabbery and shit. So it's based on a play, and it's one of those plays where I'm like, oh fuck, if they brought this play back and had it in San Francisco, I would want to go see this shit. It's Jude Law, it's Julia Roberts, it's Natalie Portman, and it's Clive Owen, and it's set in England, and it's over the course of 7 years or 5 years or something like that. Jude Law and Natalie Portman fucking have a meet cute, fall in love, and how they're just constantly cheating on each other and swapping partners and shit. It's by no stretch a fucking romantic movie. But it is definitely an interesting movie to watch. It's the seedy. It's not seedy. It is seedy. It's the negative aspect of a romantic film, and I think it's fucking great personally.
Steph posed one to you, Rico. Tortilla Soup. I've never seen it, so I can't speak to it.
So we watched this fucking movie. Oh, Jesus.
I guess you didn't like it.
No, here's the thing. I am now, because of learning how to cook and everything, I'm becoming obsessed with movies that feature cooking. No Reservations, Chef, fucking Big Night, and I was like, okay, Tortilla Soup. Tortilla Soup stars Hector Elizondo, the guy who plays the concierge or whatever, the hotel manager in Pretty Woman.
Mm-hmm.
He's that guy, and he was also Joe in Princess Diaries. Honestly, the fucking best part of the Princess Diaries, and I still like that movie a lot. He's just that great character actor. He is a father. He's a widowed father of 3 daughters, and they're all Mexican American, and he is a chef and everything. So a lot of the movie is that food porn where it's just like him cutting up and making these extravagant, great fucking dishes just to have dinner. And you watch that movie, you're like, oh, this is going to be good. And then you realize all 3 of his daughters are fucking awful. And you kind of are like watching, you're like, is he a widow because his wife fucking killed herself because her daughters suck? Like, what's going on in this fucking movie? Just really bad. And they're all going off and mating fucking dudes and like developing their own romances, and just like, none of you deserve any of these guys ever. You all are awful.
I definitely want to keep talking about this topic, Rico, but let me know. We got about 35 minutes left. There's a couple non-romantic movie things I want to talk about before we sign off, and not like promoting stuff, just other topics I want to discuss with the group. So I want to wrap this down in the next like 10, 15 minutes, if that's all right with you, if that's good. And then, but I want to rattle off 3 real quick. And if people don't, because some of these I think are underrated for sure, but like off the top of my head, or not off the top of my head, but staring at my window, my collection here, Center Stage is a great romantic film for those who have seen it.
I've never even heard of it.
It's honestly about a ballet school in New York, but it's very heavily in the romance. The music in it is the reason I like the movie so much. Is the music in it is really good. It's not all just like ballet music. There's a guy who composes a whole ballet to like Michael Jackson and Jodeci and like R&B stuff. Yeah, it's really good. It that plays well. The movie itself, I'm not saying it's a great film, but it's just fun. It's one of those films. Then we have Save the Last Dance is another one I feel like gets forgotten a lot. But that's definitely a romantic film, I think.
Is that the Gere one, the Richard Gere one? No,
Save the Last Dance is Julia Stiles, and I'd have to look up the African-American fellow's name, but she's a ballet dancer who ends up moving to like downtown Chicago, and he teaches her how to hip hop dance, and she gets into Juilliard because she learned.
Yeah, you were just pulling out some ballet movies. I'm intrigued,
dude. It hits on a couple of my favorites: music and romance, and then
and tights.
And tights. And then Across the Universe. Honestly, I thought is a good romantic film. I mean, despite whether you like the Beatles or not, I think that there's a love story there for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a love story. It's not. I would say that movie has just as many fans as it does people who just don't fucking like that movie. But no matter what, everyone can argue that is definitely a love story. That's definitely a love movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that movie. I'll be in the mood to watch it, and I'll watch like the first 30 minutes of it, and I'm like, this is amazing, and then it just kind of goes off the rails it is set to Beatles music, so obviously the drug-induced storyline has to come in at some point. But like about halfway through that movie, I just have to I lose interest.
It's interesting, Jared, because it seems like you and I are very much music people, and I was not a Beatles fan until I saw Across the Universe.
Oh, okay.
And I liked the music in that so much it made me go back and explore the original like Beatles pieces, and it changed my perspective 100%.
I love the Beatles, man. So. They did a good job on all the songs too.
I thought so. Yeah. I've Just Seen a Girl was one of the ones that I've just seen a Face is one of the ones that really got me from that soundtrack. So yeah.
Yeah, I love their rendition of Happiness is a Warm Gun.
It was a good one too. Yep. Yeah. And even Blackbird had a very different rendition. It was really good too. Yeah. So anyway, that's a different conversation for a different day. But Good, Rico. Looked like you were looking at your collection. Or did you have another one you want to throw at us?
I mean, a lot of the. I mean, we talked a lot about like newer romance films. I mean, there was a lot of great fucking romance movies from like the 50s and below.
Sure.
I mean,
Casablanca.
Casablanca. I mean, I kind of think Casablanca is a classic, but it's kind of an overrated classic, if that makes sense. Like, it's kind of been talked about to fucking death. You know what I'm saying?
I've actually never seen it, believe it or not. So,
I personally like. There was a lot of like before Sinatra became like tougher Sinatra. He was just constantly in song and dance romance movies like Anchors Away and On the Town and all that shit. So I saw a lot of like romantic musicals when I was a kid, primarily through just because Sinatra happened to be in it.
Celeste is saying Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Breakfast at Tiffany's. Yes, Steph beat me. The African Queen. That is fucking phenomenal of a film. Oh my good God, The African Queen is so good.
Okay. Have you guys ever seen Father Goose? It's a 60s film with Cary Grant.
Steph showed me that. Steph's been getting me on a fucking Cary Grant fix because I've seen so little Cary Grant. So we saw Father Goose. We also just watched The Bishop's Wife.
Okay.
During Christmas. What was that other one we watched, Steph, where it was like the one that they're fucking making fun of in Sleepless in Seattle, where like she'll never walk again. That fucking movie.
Rico, I don't mean to derail where you're going real quick, but you said something about how Clerks 2 could be the closest thing that Kev made to a romantic comedy, and I disagree that there's one that, I mean, yeah, I agree that it is one, but I think there's one that's equally as close, and it's not Chasing Amy.
Jersey Girl.
Mallrats. Yeah, I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. You're talking about Jason Lee's character, or are you talking about
both of them? You got TS trying to get his girl back, and Jason Lee's character. They're both.
But in that scenario, you look at both the girls. You're like, why the fuck are you going back to these fucking idiots? Whereas Becky in Clerks 2, you see the organic love actually fucking happen.
Hmm.
So
Fair.
I mean, let's really be honest. Jersey Girl is probably the most romantic one.
But that don't come out. Yeah, I guess.
Do Ben and Liv end up together by the end of it?
I think so.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
So, real quick, I remember you guys mentioned Splash earlier.
Yes.
Did you guys mention Mannequin?
Jay did
because I've never seen it.
About it. Yeah, I would agree. I like that one. I like them both, but I definitely agree the first one's way better than the second. So,
is that all you're gonna say, Mark?
I just remember that fucking stupid ass movie. It was so great. What about Big?
Big is a weird one.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that goes back to, there was another one, Rico, that we were talking about earlier, where about the young. Oh, you were using that as the example for, I think, Star Wars, right? When I mentioned Attack of the Clones.
Oh, I think we were talking about Kate and Leopold.
That one too. I mean, they're all kind of similar in that regard.
Like, it's a romance film, and then you think about it, like, ew.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she unknowingly fucked a 13-year-old boy, but like then she realizes she fucked a 13-year-old boy. But here's the difference. If it was the other way around, if it was like, see what I'm saying? Like if it was a boy and he fucked a 13-year-old girl who was in a fucking grown-up woman's body, it would never fucking be released theatrically.
Yep.
But because it's the boys, we're all like, hey, good for you. You got some fucking pussy. We're all like, now we're all kind of like,
Mark, by the way, I know you don't listen to the show as frequently as you used to, but if you go back and listen to the John Hughes one, I went on a pretty big cancel culture rant on that one. So if you're curious to hear that.
Are you opposed to cancel culture?
I'm opposed to I'm opposed to the level of cancel culture that we're at. I am. I think certain people deserve to be, but I think some people unfairly have been as well, and it just depends on the scenario.
I'll go look up that episode, and then we can have that discussion maybe next week.
That's
block out 10 minutes for whatever. But another one I don't think I heard mentioned. Yeah, Groundhog Day.
See, I got mixed feelings about that one too, because yes, it's a romance film, but if you think about it, he kind of fucking coerced her. He fell in love with her, but he definitely coerced her and manipulated her into falling in love with him. It's
correct.
It's not it's not a happy romance. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but doesn't that not work out for him?
No, it works out.
He coerces her for a majority of the movie, but only at the end, after he learns to let people live their lives and be happy, does she actually fall in love with him.
Yeah, but he still did all that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Everything changed for her because she was a different variation of herself. But he's also got all this it's the biggest self-help movie there could ever possibly be, because he became someone actually, I think before Ramis died, he calculated, I think Bill Murray is stuck in that loop for 100 million years. It's not a decade.
Yeah.
To the point where he should be the biggest expert of everything on the planet.
He memorizes everything.
So I want to throw an anti-romance at you guys, because I honestly, because I feel like there's romantic tones in the entire film, but it's very anti-romantic on the face. And it's stretched over 2 films, honestly, but it's really one film in my eyes. Kill Bill.
Yeah, that's definitely an that's the ultimate breakup movie ever.
But it isn't, because he clearly, while he shoots her in the head, yes, I'm not right, but he also clearly still loves her, because there's multiple times she could have died in both films, where he basically L right there could have put the needle in her IV and done. It would have been over. The movie would have been done in the first 10 minutes. There's that. And then there's the whole scene at the end when she finally gets there. He very much loves her in that scene. No doubt. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's Quentin love.
A lot of feet, yeah. I would definitely say that is a fucking toxic relationship, in the sense that they love each other, but they know they shouldn't be together. That's how it's kind of like Sid and Nancy. There's gonna be nothing good is gonna come from this, except maybe the fact that they're a little girl.
I mean, think about the way she reacts after she kills him.
She cries. Yeah.
Oh, she didn't just cry. Those are ugly tears.
No, but then she starts laughing. It's one of those fucking it's a
maniacal.
Euphoric. It's euphoric crying. She's also just crying because it's all over until Quentin decides to make a third one, which she's been teasing for fucking ever.
I think he's waiting for that one actress to grow up still.
I'm pretty sure it's been long enough. That movie came out in 2004.
Yeah, I guess so. How about my super ex-girlfriend, Todd says. I've never seen it, so I can't speak to it. But
I've never seen that, so I don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
Uma Thurman was his ex-girlfriend, but also a crazy person.
Yeah.
No, she was a superhero.
Yeah, and a crazy person.
Yeah, and a crazy person.
Anybody who fucking gets in tights and wants to be a hero is a fucking crazy person.
I got 2 more, actually. Rico, one of which we've already talked about on the President Show. But American President, that's a love story through and through.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's definitely a love story.
I think that's an interesting twist, because it involves the president and all that comes with that, right? So that's an interesting twist on it. And then the other one is one that I feel like is an underrated film in general, but The Illusionist.
Okay. That's definitely a romance film. It's not. I would call that a romance film and then a mystery second. And
Yeah.
also like a time period, not like time mystery like travel time, but like
Right.
it's a period piece.
Right. No, it's definitely a period piece. No question about that. But the romance is at the heart of that film. Like it's called The Illusion.
Whereas The Prestige, similar, both came out like within a year of each other, if not 6 months.
Yeah, maybe even the same year. Yeah.
Both are period pieces. Both deal about magicians and shit. The Illusionist is clearly the more romantic one out of the two.
Oh, for
because
sure.
The Prestige, while both Hugh Jackman and fucking Batman have like their respected wives and shit, it's not about that. It's about trying to fuck over each other as much as possible.
But there's also a love story in there, in that when he sends the one girl in, she ends up falling in love with the other guy, and that whole thing. It's a little bit different. I agree with you. The Illusionist is more the love story, but yeah.
But see, like The Prestige has as much romance as like The Godfather or Goodfellas. It's like, yeah, they got married.
Yeah.
But that's not the point of the movie.
What about oh shit, I just lost it. God damn it. Oh, what about Entrapment?
Never saw Entrapment. I still have not seen Entrapment.
Okay.
I tried watching Intolerable Cruelty and I couldn't get through it. It was fucking boring.
Yeah, I've seen part of that. I wasn't digging it. Someone's saying Pride and Prejudice. Actually, Steph said it.
There's a lot of Jane Austen movies I've never seen, including Pride and Prejudice. All versions of Pride and Prejudice I've never seen.
Yeah,
I would argue it's probably very romantic, but I've never seen it.
Right.
I'm trying.
Gladiator?
Huh?
Gladiator?
Yeah, I mean he's trying to get to his dead wife, isn't he?
And conversely, Marcus Aurelius' daughter is very much in love with him, I think.
Not as much as fucking Joaquin is into his sister.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
I'm trying to see if there's any legitimate horror movies that are also romantic movies.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking, or even Hannibal.
But when he eats pussy, he really eats pussy.
Even though it's not the right kind of love, do you think there's any element of love in Misery?
Did you hear they're remaking that film and Armie Hammer is going to play Hannibal Lecter? Yeah.
God damn it.
No, that's not.
No, he
really
wants to
happen.
be eaten. He doesn't want to eat people.
That's true. Yeah, it is the other way around.
That's
right.
better.
It's not better. I just think it's important to hate people for the right reasons.
Yeah, his
I don't
favorite
think
way
you should
of
be.
insulting.
Listen, Rico, I made the joke, and I get that, but Rico and I talked about this off air the other day. Listen, if he's disclosing to these people what he wants and they're on board, I don't think he should be hated for it. That's just me.
No, I think there's other reasons. Like, there's other problems with him beyond that. I'm just saying.
Well,
if you're into vor, like, you know, if you dislike people for their sexual fetishes, it's important to be correct about their sexual fetishes.
Okay,
agreed.
But now we know how much it would cost for him to be in a movie. It would cost an arm and a leg. And as he's
change his name to Army Legger.
Army Legger. As he's being eaten, he says, "Call me by your name."
God damn it.
Jay brought up a good one. No. I disagree, Kateri. I think Jay's got a good one here with The Crow. The Crow is definitely a love story.
Oh yeah, The Crow is all love.
It really is. It's
all love in the Creed sense.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's
like if Sinatra fucking did a song all about love, and then Creed did a cover of that same fucking song. You can't argue that it's not a love song. It's just very different way of doing it.
Okay.
I mean, it's you know, any story where the protagonist's love is taken from them in a permanent fashion, and they go out and actively get revenge as a result of it, I think could be considered a love story. It's just a different kind of love story from what we traditionally consider to be a love story.
I agree, Mark. That's a good call.
Jared, would you call Bride of Chucky a romantic horror film?
Yeah, I would.
Doesn't work out well for them at the end, but
I mean, Bride of Chucky is a little bit different in that they're the bad guys.
But it's still love. I have to agree with Jared and Rico here, and I haven't seen the film, but I get the point you're making, Mark. But if there's still love, it doesn't matter if you're a good guy or a bad guy. If there's love, there's love. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I guess, but that's
a
like
good
saying
guy.
Natural Born Killers is a romance movie. It's technically correct, but like I'm making a face right now.
We expect that. I want to move on, Rico, just to because there's others I can think of, and maybe we pick this up on another one, but or if we get through what I want to talk about quickly, we can jump back to it. But I want to, and Mark, I'm really hoping you've seen this because I'm really interested in your input on this. The Mortal Kombat Red Band, or even if you haven't seen the Red Band, but just the trailer for the new Mortal Kombat.
Looks fine.
I want to know this. I have mixed feelings about it, honestly. Like, there's parts of it that look really, really fucking good, and then there's parts of it that I'm like, I don't know about this.
Okay,
looks
so
like the ultimate
hit
fan
me with the
service.
stuff that you think is not so great.
I'm hoping it's because it's still in production and they're still cleaning things up. But some of the special effects, especially like the Liu Kang stuff where he's firing the fireball, and it's a faraway shot, so I'm gonna give it some credence. But like, where he has the fire dragon appear. Like, I know that's, I understand, Mark, because I've played the games, that it's accurate to the game, but I think it looked bad on screen. And what I liked about the original Mortal Kombat film, while it had its own problems, and I'm not disputing that, is that they tried to real world it as best they could for being Mortal Kombat. Like, Liu Kang doesn't shoot a fireball. He kind of does that punch, and it has that like explosive power, but it didn't have a fireball, if that makes sense. Now, conversely, you had the really terrible digital Scorpion. So I'm not saying it's perfect by any means, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
So if we're talking about the idea of, like, I may have misinterpreted what you were saying there. If we're talking about the idea of disliking the idea of, like, the characters having like the magical abilities, like Liu Kang having a fireball and whatnot. I mean, it's in the game, so it's like, I feel like it's a reasonable inclusion. If you're having an issue with the technicality of it, that's fine. I didn't really notice, but that's a completely reasonable reason to have a problem with it.
Yeah, it's the way it looks, Mark. It's not the functionality. It's not the feature. The feature I agree with 100%. But if you're gonna do it, it needs to look right. And to me, at least what we've seen so far, I'll tell you what. Now, like I said, there's parts of it that look really good, but then there's parts of it that look like Annihilation, which we can kind of all agree was terrible. So, like there's parts of it that look like it's going to be that, like Liu Kang, like look like the worst developed character in this new movie. The rest of it,
which is honestly, from a narrative perspective, the fact, like, okay, so I like the fact that there's a big focus on Asian actors and actresses.
Yes, I agree.
Because a lot of the characters are of Asian descent, and like having them all just fucking played by white people is annoying. So that's good. Visually, I think that it looks about as good as you're going to real life Mortal Kombat sort of thing. Like, I didn't notice the technical problems with the fire, but I'll definitely I will go along with that. For me, it looked fine. My major issue with it, honestly, is that we're inventing a fucking protagonist to stick in this movie and leaving out Johnny Cage. And it's just like, for me personally, the one thing I hate that video game movies might do is when they significantly change the confines of the game's narrative in order to suit whatever narrative the screenwriters are producing, because at that point it's like you're just making your own fucking movie and attaching somebody else's name to it.
So Super Mario Brothers.
And Resident Evil.
I like Super Mario Brothers. I think Super Mario Brothers is a great movie. It's a horrible Super Mario Brothers movie.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I agree with you, Mark. It's a great movie, but it's terrible. Super Mario. Jared, to your point, and if you haven't heard the episode, we talked about Resident Evil on a previous PodAskew. And the first one, at least, and I did the research on this, the first one is actually meant to be almost a prequel to the games.
The first movie works great as a standalone movie, and if they hadn't bothered to cross-pollinate it with everything else from the franchise, I would have been fine with it.
I agree with you, Mark, especially with the second one when they tried to go shot for shot with cutscenes from the game, which I think was a bad play. But anyway,
not only that, but they fucking made Nemesis into like kind of a good guy at the end. Fuck off.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, the four of us are planning on doing a video game episode, so let's save that for that discussion. But I wanted to at least discuss the Mortal Kombat thing because it is coming on HBO Max in April, and I'm super excited about that. I also saw the trailer I've been trying to avoid it, but I finally watched the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
The trailer.
And I am, again, like Mortal Kombat, there's parts of it that I'm like, okay, I'm kind of excited to see that. And there's other parts of it that I'm like, I don't know. Like to me, and I think I'm in the minority here, but Darkseid looked terrible to me, I thought. But other parts of it looked really good. So I'm still
Steppenwolf looked better.
Yes, Steppenwolf looked better compared to what he
got.
It looks like shit regardless, but yeah, fair enough.
It looks like shit regardless, but yeah.
I am still curious to see it. I mean, thankfully, Rico, we have HBO Max, so we're going to get to see all these without spending any additional money. So that's kind of nice. But,
we'll probably fucking be doing like, okay, here's the Joss version and here's the fucking Snyder version.
Yeah, we'll do that with Justice League. I'm saving Mortal Kombat for the video game one with the four of us because I think that'll
for sure
play into that one. But I am excited to see those. And then there was one I saw. I don't think it's going to be on HBO Max, unfortunately, but it actually looked pretty good. It's starring Freddie Highmore, I think is his name. But it's called The Vault, and that looked really kind of interesting. It's like if Baby Driver meets what's the movie I want to cross that with? Like an Ocean's film, but not exactly.
So heist with a getaway driver.
No, there's no driving, but it's a young kid thing. That's why I want Baby Driver, because Freddie Highmore, young kid compared to everyone else involved. So that's why I went that way. Maybe it's not the greatest analogy, but it actually looks like I wasn't even looking for that. I ran a thing on YouTube where it ran like 7 trailers to get to the 2 I wanted to see, and that was one of them. And I was like, that's actually looking pretty good. So,
all right,
I'm kind of excited to see that. Believe it or not. I mean, I won't run to the theater, especially with COVID, but I definitely want to see it. So.
Can I tell you, CJ, by the way, I've actually been using your HBO login that you gave me, which I appreciate.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the only thing I've watched so far is fucking Harley Quinn.
It's good.
That's
though,
a
right?
Great goddamn show.
It's so fucking good. Oh my god.
So good.
Hey, Mark, have you seen the Joker yet?
No, I do really want to sit down and watch that, but it was like multiple people told me I needed to watch Harley Quinn, so I watched that, and now I'm just fucking down a hole with that. I'm gonna watch all of that first, and then I'm gonna watch the Joker.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious. When you watch it, hit me up. I want to know your thoughts on it.
Mark, also,
I'm sure I'll think it's fine.
A lot of the WB animated Batman films, and not just animated, but Justice League and stuff are all on there too. So if you're into those and you haven't seen them yet, they're on there and they're good.
I'm sure that they're probably fine. I'll watch Mask of the Phantasm again, but like Harley Quinn is good because it's everybody works blue and it's great.
Yes.
Well, it does a conscientious decision to fucking make Harley an actual character, not just the Joker's side bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really interesting too because like prior to watching the show, like my thought process was always I don't know that I agree with the Harley Quinn Poison Ivy relationship because Poison Ivy doesn't seem like a good fit as a romantic partner for anybody. And after watching like half of the first season, I'm like looking at Poison Ivy like, oh honey, you deserve so much better than Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. She deserves better than fucking Kite Man too, though.
Yeah. We're coming up on 5 minutes, so I wanna start wrapping things down. I'm not asking anyone to jump off yet, but I want to at least start wrapping the conversation down. I do have one quick romantic one I just want to mention, just because it just jumped out at me, and I think it is one, and it's a great one to end on. I think just because, well, fuck, it's partially my show. Point Break, I think is a good romantic comedy in its, or not a real comedy, but a romantic film.
Point Break or Gross Point Blank?
No, Point Break with Keanu and the surfing movie. The OG, Todd, of course. Fuck the new one. Yeah. So that's anyway. I'm just going there. Anyway, I want to.
It's a great romantic movie, Speed.
Yeah. In the same vein, sure. Why not?
You know what's a great romantic movie? Brokeback Mountain.
Yes,
it is.
All right, moving on. We're at the 5-minute mark. I just got the 5-minute mark alarm. So okay. I do want to thank everybody for coming out. Rico, I want to thank you very much for my birthday present. I love it. I love the decanter, these new glasses. I'm excited to clean that thing out and fill it with some high quality whiskey. So that'll be great. Thank you, sir. I want to thank everyone that came out tonight. We have Todd and Steph and Celesta, Jay, Kateri, Jared, Mark. As always, guys, thank you. Means the world to us every week that you're here. I also let you guys know DJ Xanthus will be on radio airwaves tomorrow night, doing another Saturday concert series. So if you're interested in what the concert is going to be, please tune in, radio-airwaves.co.uk. And it's going to be a fun concert. It'll be a good time. Jared, hey, you seem to be into music like I am. I highly recommend you check out the show. He's on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So
I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, Rico can shoot you the details. Or if you're following us, we can do that too. Yeah, and we have a Discord channel that you can come and talk to. I also want to thank Celesta, by the way. She had DJ Xanthus on her show this morning, so we did a collaboration, and it was a lot of fun, even though it was way too early to be on air, but it was still a lot of fun. And thank you to those who did tune in. I know Jay and Kateri were there. I'm sure there were others that may not be aware to me, but they were there. And keep an eye. Yeah, well, Todd, it was earlier for you. Keep an eye out, guys. We're doing a collaboration, PodAskew, with Super Media Brothers. We are recording that this coming weekend. That'll be out next week. A two-parter starting on Super Media Brothers, finishing off on PodAskew. So that's going to be a lot of fun, guys. That's coming out starting on the 26th and then on March 1st. So those will be your part 1, part 2. So it will be fun. And that's all I've got to say. Rico, anything before we sign off?
I love you, man.
PodAskew.